This video was inspired by this comment from one of my guides. I know that the guy is just joking, but the reality is there are warframes in the game that can solve this problem of pressing a lot of buttons in the game. I'm talking about press to 4-win warframes, and the most obvious are Styanax and Mesa. However, there are other press 1 button to win warframes in this game also, which gives you that feel-good moment wherein you are satisfied on the mayhem you created with just one press of a button. We will discuss all of these warframes plus more, but first let's get into the obvious ones, which are Styanax and Mesa. Obviously, Styanax is a press 4 to win warframe because of his ultimate ability that grants decent damage, survivability, and support to his allies. With one press of the final stand ability, you can deal decent slash and bleed damage, give yourself and teammates over guard, and if you have rally point active, then you can also restore shield per enemy kill. The best part about Styanax is that you only need to activate rally point, then the best subsume ability for the warframe called Nourish to ramp up the energy regeneration from rally point. After that, it's all about throwing spears to your heart's content with the final stand ultimate ability. It's a very simple warframe to play, yet very powerful with the right build and setup, and one of those warframes that can conquer almost all challenges and steel path levels. In addition, with the shield restore, you can also abuse the shield gating mechanic if you and your teammates have the catalyzing shield mod. The mod allows you to trim down your shield to the point wherein it can be restored by rally point in 1 or 2 kills. And with stretch in your build, rally point will be active within 43 meters radius, enough for all of your members in the team to benefit from the shield per kill. This setup alone makes the whole team unkillable, and on top of that, there's the intrepid stand augment that gives you overguard per hit. Every time an enemy gets hit by your ultimate ability, the whole team will gain overguard, which is not just an extra health layer, but also gives status resistance such as the pesky knockdowns in the game. Honestly, I can say that Styanax is one of those S-tier warframes that everyone should have in the game, as the frame can be very effective in killing and helping the team, just by using his abilities alone. Before we continue, I humbly ask for your support by simply subscribing to our channel. I see that most of you who are watching my videos are not yet subscribed, so I humbly ask that you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you will be updated on the latest content we uploaded. Also, please help us with this video and get it to 1,000 likes and share it if you think that it's informative. Thank you all for your support. And now let's continue this video. Moving on, we can't do a press 4 to win tier list if we will not include Mesa Prime in the video. We all know how busted her peacemaker ability is, and the warframe becomes a total aimbot that can demolish everything in the area in seconds. The best part is that with some changes and add-ons in the game, the warframe becomes more potent when it comes to kill speed while using her peacemaker ability. Right now, I'm using a Nourish build for my Mesa Prime to get viral procs and the energy restoration paired with Zyurix Wellspring in this mod called Energy Nexus. Then I pair this with a corrosive build in my regulator pistol. Now, what I'm missing here is 2 Emerald Archon Shard to armor strip and increase the overall damage of my regulator pistol, but I don't know if having 14 stacks of corrosive will be more dependable than just having at least 10 stacks of corrosive with 1 Emerald Archon Shard, or even a Tau Forged version of this. You see, in the upcoming Jade Shadows update in June, Digital Extremes will be reworking armor to the point that enemies will have an armor cap, lowering their overall defense but increasing their health values. Also, armor will be simplified to the point wherein everything will be called armor, and there will be no distinction between ferrite and alloy armor. With this, there is a possibility that corrosive damage will be more lethal, and it would be a waste not to take advantage of it and do a full armor strip to enemies. So what I will be testing is having a Tau Forged version of the Emerald Archon Shard to get my corrosive stacking to 13. This will not strip all the armor of enemies, hence allowing massive damage to targets. Heat and radiation are also interesting combo for armored units, but we will see what are in store for us in the upcoming Jade Shadows update. Hence, I still did not add any Emerald Archon Shard yet on my Mesa. If there's one Archon Shard setup that you must use though, then that is the Topaz version of the Archon Shard that grants critical chance to your regulator pistols. Give the warframe at least 3 Tau Forged version of Topaz Archon Shard, then pair it with Ceramic Dagger modded for initial combo count, and the secondary outburst that grants more critical chance per combo count. The main goal here is to stack initial combo so you will get 12 times combo multiplier without expiration, hence you can freely use the full benefit of secondary outburst every time the combo count recharges to max. The good news is each kill of your regulator pistol counts for the gun and blade perk of Incarnate Ceramic Dagger, which gives you more combo count. With a setup like this, you can turn your Mesa into the ultimate gunslinger, capable of doing any steel path levels with ease. Next we have Atlas. This warframe is not just called as One Punch Man for no reason. His best ability is named Landslide, and with the right build and setup, you can just press one button with Atlas to kill enemies easily. Basically, you would want a Path of Statues build for Atlas so you can petrify enemies without casting his third ability. This allows you to deal more damage against stone targets and allows you to get rubble, which is a mechanic that restores Atlas health and gives him bonus armor when picked up. Then you will need a stat stick to increase the damage of your landslide ability. The best stat stick is the one that has high riven disposition and has weapon augment like the jaw sword. The weapon has high riven disposition, which allows you to roll good stats, and it also has a weapon augment that increases your melee damage that also works with Atlas landslide ability. Incarnate Ceramic Dagger is also a good choice if you want to increase the damage through combo counter, and it also grants decent critical chance and status chance to the ability with Weeping Wounds and Blood Rush at max combo count. However, just be warned that you won't reach any red crit numbers with Incarnate Ceramic Dagger, as the landslide ability only has 2 times critical damage and a measly 5% critical chance and status chance. That is why I prefer having Wrathful Advance for this setup instead and using the Jaw Sword as stat stick. Lastly, I want to remind you that Viral Procs also works wonder with the landslide ability, and grouping mechanics such as the Magus Anomaly, which you can use from your operator, allows you to deal more damage with the One Punch Man setup. Not to mention that you can also use the Nautilus Cordon Mod precept now to group enemies, then inflict viral status with a primer and punch them to their death. Excalibur and both his Prime and Umber version can also be a press 4 to win Warframe with the Exalted Blade ability. All you need to do is activate his 4th ability and just literally spam the melee button to kill all enemies. To boost the damage though, you would need to have a condition overload build in your Exalted Blade, and it's either you use the Chromatic Blade augment for the increased critical chance so you won't use any primer guns, or use something like the Kuva Nukor to inflict multiple statuses to enemies before killing them with your Exalted Blade. For this kind of setup, it would be best that we use the Chromatic Blade setup, as our main goal here is to press only one button to kill enemies. But then again, for increased damage, it's highly advisable that you go with Asada's Whisper build for the Warframe, since it allows you to deal another damage instant that increases the overall DPS of the Chromatic Blade setup. Also, you will blind enemies with your second ability almost all the time for increased damage and survivability, so I wouldn't say that this is a total press one button to win setup. But anyway, we also need to activate Shatter Shield for Mesa's survivability, and also activate Rally Point for Styanax, so I guess this still counts as long as it's killing enemies while using one ability. Kullervo also has a press one button to win setup, and it only requires you to add its new augment called Wrath of Yuko. A Wrathful Kullervo build will always make any melee weapons decent, and those who are already insane become broken. In most cases, a Wrath of Yuko build allows you to maintain combo counter at max, so you can use the damage increase and as well as critical and status chance before hitting enemies with a heavy attack using Wrathful Advance. With this setup, you can just press Wrathful Advance to kill enemies, and press his recompense for survivability with Overguard. Every time you cast Wrathful Advance, you will replenish the duration of Storm of Yuko, and every hit of the ability will grant you additional combo, which helps you maintain your count at max. It's really a great combo, especially when used with the Arc of Titron, as the Wrathful Advance allows the hammer to deal massive red crit damage while building the Slam Capacitor buff. At the same time, the Storm of Yuko will constantly give you combo count, and with full Slam Capacitor and combo count, you can unleash a devastating slam attack that deals hundreds of millions of damage. It's just sad that the combo can't reach 2 billion damage cap right now due to the Slam Capacitor nerf that Digital Extremes implemented recently. Nonetheless, it's still a devastating one ability cast combo that can kill multiple enemies at once. Titania can also be a press one button to win Warframe with her 4th ability. Once Razor Wing is active, she can have insane mobility and DPS through her Dex Pixia pistols. There are 2 build variation I am currently using on my Titania Prime, and it's either a Sada's Whisper build or a Nourish build. Sada's Whisper pairs well with the Galvanized status chance, as it increases the overall DPS of the ability with Void Damage and the extra damage instance. On the other hand, Nourish gives my Titania energy economy, as it increases energy restoration through energy orbs that I picked up, and it adds viral damage to the gun with guaranteed viral procs, which pairs well with a corrosive and heat Dex Pixia setup. You can further improve the damage of this setup with an Emerald Archon shard that strips full armor if you have at least 2 of these in your loadout, and the Razor Wing Blitz augment will be the icing on the cake, increasing your fire rate by over 200% with this build. This means that you don't need Arcane Velocity in here, and you can use Arcane Pistolier so that there's a chance for infinite ammo when you do a headshot kill with your Dex Pixia. You remember that Titania doesn't require ammunition drops to restore her ammo, as it recharges once it's depleted. However, Arcane Pistolier stops the ammo consumption, and you can shoot unlimited bullets for a few seconds, and can also do it infinitely if you are skillful enough to do headshot kills all the time. Once you activate your 4th ability, all you need to do is just press the fire button and reactivate either Nourish or Sada's Whisper when its duration is close to expiring. And finally, don't ever forget that there is a broken Warframe that can drop an ability, and you can just watch level 9,999 enemies dead in seconds. I'm talking about Octavia with her mallet ability that has this return damage mechanic. Once you drop the mallet, it's all over, as the bigger the damage dealt by enemies to the ability, the higher the damage it returns to them. After dropping your mallet, all you need to do is watch enemies die. To add insult to injury, Octavia also teabags the enemies while watching them die with her mallet. Well, it's not just for pure mockery, as you will literally teabag so you can keep the Nocturne buff from Metronome to keep her invisible. Octavia is the best warframe for killing enemies using just one ability, but it's sad that she doesn't get the attention as her strongest ability is only good in level cap endurance runs. Now, there are other warframe build and combos that allows you to press only one button to kill enemies, and these are just examples of the setup wherein you have one button to press to kill enemies, and the rest will just be for survivability. Rest assured that all the combos that you see in this video are playable in real missions, and not just only for the simulacrum. There are other setups available out there, but so far, these are the best warframes I can guarantee, which allows you to press one button to kill enemies in a real mission. But then again, I might miss something, so feel free to share some of your warframes builds below so we can try it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in our next video. Squad Leader, signing off.